Hello, everybody. Suzy Woo here. Welcome back for another week of our gratis astrology, learning astrology here. And where did I go? All right. So we're going to be talking about the new moon that we are having. The new moon, the new moon is May 26th in the sign of Gemini. Uh, so let's pull up that chart and I'll tell you what's funny is I guess you need a starting point when you're learning and doing things. Now, I've had a YouTube channel for a number of years and I've used Zoom for a number of years too, but last week, like I just had that little window up the whole time, so I apologize for that. Um, let's pull up the chart of the new moon. And Linda's stuck in the waiting room. I'm trying to let her in. Come on in, Linda. Okay. Oh, I am launching my astrology course. It only happens once a year. We're kicking off May 29th. There's 3 different levels. You could sign up just to learn the nuts and bolts. Um, really, if you do the whole thing, it's 28 weeks. And once a week, 2 hours online. If you can't be there live, you get the video and all the materials, and it will help you. At the end of the 28 weeks, you'll be able to read a personal chart. You'll be able to learn the behavioral traits, psychology of a person based on the chart. And we even will read lots of charts and a little bit of compatibility stuff too. We will learn about transits, which is timing techniques. And if you enjoy my teaching style, then you will absolutely love the class, or it's a course. And you actually, I should just give you here, let me, there's chat here. So here is the link to my website, and it's going to be under Learn with Me. And for those who are not on the Zoom, who are watching on YouTube, it's my website, suzy-woo.com, and then you click the Learn with Me tab. There. Okay, and I hope to see you there. You get access to those materials for life, so it never goes away. All right, guys, let's get into it. Share screen, and here we go. So this is actually, it's not today, it's the new moon. So here you can see the date, May 26, 2025. It's a late night new moon, 11:30 at night. I am on Eastern time because I am in New York. And this is using the natural house system just to keep it very simple. So this new moon, here it is down here. See the 3rd house? This red circle with the dot in the middle is the sun, and then clearly the moon crescent is the moon. And every time that we have a new moon, these two things are together. And so you don't see the moon, so it's a dark moon. And when you have a new moon, that is a time to set your new intentions. Let's back up for a minute. So this past Monday was an extremely intense full moon. We talked about it last week. And I'm doing my level 2 healers course right now, and everybody on the call had a story to tell about Monday. How about you? Was there a lot of crap going on Monday for you? That was an intense Scorpio full moon. Well, you know what? I kind of want to come back. Let's edit this chart. Let's do, is it tomorrow? Because this week we have the sun and Uranus coming together. Is it the 28th? No, today's the 15th. It might be the 17th. Let's take a look. And hopefully I don't like mess this up and leave that little window up like I did last time. Let's give it a shot. Here it is, yeah. So I'm hoping that you can see this. And just to make sure just to make sure, I'm going to reshare it this way so that I know that it's correct. There. All right. Now, here is the 17th. So we can do the new moon next week because next week is going to be before the date of the new moon. Let's talk about this. This is more important. All right. So this past Monday, with the big intense, because that's a Scorpio word, intense full moon, a lot of crap hit the fan. New thing. New things coming to the surface, sexual things, crime, bad things. With Mars and Leo, we already talked about celebrities. And of course, the PED stuff is coming up. PED did, right? Bad, disgusting, but it happened nonetheless. It happened. And so this is where more of this dirty deeds stuff will be surfaced. Now, on the 17th, the Sun and Uranus come together at 27 degrees of Taurus, which is also going to be lighting up a star called Elgol. And this is where somebody loses their head. Usually that's going to be a leader of some kind. So there could be a sudden strike down, striking, health matter. Okay, I cannot ignore the words in my head that are saying assassination attempt. So that might be a thing. Okay, there also could be shootings. Now, I am seeing the word randomized, but you know there's no such thing as random, right? But there might be several outbursts of rebellion, which could include warlike behaviors. All right. Sun with Uranus this day is going to be, you know what? I can't take anymore. And I'm flipping the table over. I'm sick of this. I'm not going to do what you told me to do. I'm not going to conform. And you could stick it where the sun don't shine. Uranus is a planet of rebellion, saying, I am not, is the Rage song. I won't do what you told me. That's this. And it is peaking. So Monday was that big full moon. Well, if the problem didn't get resolved, by the time we get to the 17th, all bets are off. I'm done. I am done. I'm done with you. I'm not dealing with this anymore. And I'm gonna come out like a loose cannon, and you're not gonna know what hit you. You've been warned. So this is happening in our lives somewhere, and how to know where that is going to be what Taurus rules in your chart, or where you have Taurus in your chart. And then the moon is going to be in Capricorn. So I kind of like this because remember, Capricorn always gets caught. Now I all of a sudden see in my mind the name Biden. Where's Joe Biden? I haven't seen anything about him in the news. Very interesting. So, well, I don't watch news, but on social media, I don't see anything coming up with that person. And the moon being in Aquarius on this day, that is leadership. It is corporate. It is government. And it is making a trine, which is a friendly, supportive discussion or conversation between planets. Okay, let's put it together. The moon is at 24 on its way to 27, so it's going to be exact within a couple of hours of this new moon. And my vision is showing me crumbling, like a wall, like a mountain beginning to crumble. And then it all comes falling down. I love this. This is a reveal because Uranus is like lightning striking, unpredictable, comes out of left field. You can't plan these kinds of things, disruptive, but in the name of truth. Capricorn always gets caught. The truth shall set you free. That I like this. I like it a real lot, a real lot. It'll be very interesting to see what headlines are occurring. Uh, Actually, it's the all of this week, but the new moon, or we're not talking new moon anymore. The moon this day on the 17th, forming a trine to the Saturn Uranus conjunction. Um, in mundane astrology, the moon is the people. I like this. I do feel, again, taking it to the streets, and it is exposing more corruption and the head of something. I feel, I just have to say it because that's what's coming in. The head of something will be shot. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I do these things with you live. And it's just how it works. I see things, I get things, and I tell you. I'm not on any, side. I'm removed. I'm detached from everything. I'm just reading the language. And then when intuition flows in, it enhances, and I just have to tell you. Now, where do I want to go next? We have a lot of Aries energy still. We have, oh my, yeah, the other thing. We can't ignore Saturn here this week. At the anaretic or critical degree. So anything at the final degree is going to bring up crisis. And I'm kind of cracking a smile about it because Saturn is the planet that goes with Capricorn. And at the critical degree of Pisces, that means a collapse. It's the final degree of the whole zodiac. And so through disclosure, through revealing of shocking truths, something's going to be shut down. But what is it? It could be something in healthcare. It could be, what do you call it? Like when almost like SWAT team comes in and takes the evidence and shuts it all down. In a town not too far from here, I think there was some money laundering going on, and the town didn't have the money they were supposed to have, or I think embezzlement is the right word. And so whoever would be the branch of government, whoever, I don't know, police or whatever, seized like the building and the records, and like the county hall was shut down, or the financial office of it was shut down, and stuff was being confiscated. It's going to be like that on a much bigger platform. So the money embezzlement underground, because that is the Scorpio energy, underground, secret, elite. Now I'm seeing underground tunnels. So this is going to be even more revealing of deep dark truths in a natural way. That part I don't exactly know in a natural way, but we'll come to see. This is going to be a really important day. Okay, criminal activity under a spotlight, magnifying glass, and media is involved. Wow. Media is involved. Boy, oh boy, it might involve, okay, I get conglomerate, and I'm seeing the logo for ABC. So that's one of the major networks behind it, propagating, and national news. So this is going to be a headline we will all be seeing. Where is it woven together? And who is holding the puppet strings? How interesting is this? What else is going on? Well, we're not ready to move off of that anaretic degree. Saturn is there. So Saturn is going to be there until the 20th. Let me just double check my cheat sheet. Uranus. Ingress. Zero. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong planet. I wanted Saturn. Sorry. Saturn, here you are. May 24th. So May 24th, that means May 24th, Saturn is going to leave the last degree of the entire zodiac. And Saturn is top-down government, political officials, that kind of thing. It is also leadership and religion. Wow. Well, what about the new pope that just got appointed? Out of Chicago, right? The first American pope. Something might happen with him. They might find, who knows, like he's related to somebody who was in the mob or something like that, or maybe his way of getting in wasn't like couth or something. I'm not exactly sure, but Saturn and Pisces means leadership, spirituality. Watch out for false prophets. Yeah, that's very much of interest, isn't it? Okay, anyway, so then the 23rd, 4th is when Saturn leaves and moves into Aries. Okay, so there could actually be some kind of spiritual war going on. Now, there has been in the ethers for a long time, but this may feel disruptive. I'm getting heat, warlike. This is most likely going to be holy wars. So this may create, unfortunately, further war activity or bombing or that kind of thing in the Middle East, which really the Middle East needs to be protected because that is a treasure trove of spiritual. It's not just spiritual. There are, I'm seeing like light codes that are kind of like stacked number eights. These are key codes. So there's key codes under the grounds of Israel. And the holy wars are designed to keep everyone away from them. That space is going to be clearing. There will be rejoicing over the next 2 to 3 years. And there is going to be peace, not just truce. It's going to be a resolve. Oh, how exciting. Wow. And you heard it first here, guys, right? Okay. The days leading up to that, though, the 24th, means that Saturn is the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, which means a buildup of pressure something's got to give. So this is going to show up in your life somewhere where things are coming to a natural ending, a natural close. It could be a departure, or it could be loss also. Sometimes this is going to bring losses, people passing away or businesses coming to a natural ending. I need to close my doors. It's run its course, that kind of a thing. So that's happening in our lives somewhere. And you might see your life very differently through epiphanies, these aha moments. There was oh, I didn't realize I was holding a wild card. So there's going to be a wild card in the world, in your personal life as well. This week, when maybe this is going to be where you're grateful that you didn't like blast on somebody who was innocent and maybe who you thought was the villain is actually the hero. So this is going to really change our insights, our foresight, our dissolution, disillusion of an illusion dissolves. Pisces dissolves. Saturn is time. Time stands still. We can, oh, I talked about this before. We can hop timelines, get on another track, like how trains do, and that you have choice, and that is a big deal to claim. I will choose how I want to live my life, how I practice, what I eat, who I hang out with, what I do for work. How you see career is going to be very different as well. And then, of course, with AI taking a lot of jobs away, that's going to, I'm seeing the word criminality right there. Don't know where that's going to lead. Lawsuits are mounting up on Capitol Hill. And deals are breaking too. So this is way up at the top, way up at the top. So there is somebody who is reneging on their deal, somebody who is pulling out, pulling back from a pact or an agreement. This could involve like NATO, for example, things that have to do with world leaders and what used to be agreed upon. Now I'm getting Pfizer. So these big agreements is crumbling. So it's almost like, you know what, you're not worth the piece of paper you're written on, and discarding and betrayal. So this is a wow, this is like big, you know, way up there stuff that impacts everybody, but it's for the betterment of humanity as a whole. So it is a big deal. And those who are quote unquote dark dark with a dark agenda, let's say, the rug is being pulled out from under them. So this is actually terrific things, where if you are on an awakened path and you're not living in the dark yourself, this is stuff to be celebrated, albeit uncomfortable, but creation follows chaos. That is what we're in here. A lot of fire and earth on this particular day, which means we can scorch ourselves if we're not careful with all this a lot of cardinal energy going on. And which means initiatory, but there's also a lot of fixed energy in the sky, which means I'm not budging. Well, you cannot only exhale, right? There has to be balance. When you are sick, if you run a fever, that fever has to break. And then that's when you start to actually heal and feel better. And it means the sickness has peaked. Well, that is what we're in this week. So there's a lot of pressure being built. Saturn can, at the last degree of Pisces, can give you swelling, or the complete opposite, parched. But I'm going to the ankles, so water, but see, Saturn is restriction and limitation, but it's at the last degree. So it could introduce an increase of swelling, things coming to a head, abscesses, ankle swelling, feet swelling, joint pain, irregularities in water flowing, water supplies, and water demands. So where I'm seeing some places parched, barren, and in need of maybe rainfall, others have more than they can handle, which means flooding. So there's an imbalance of water and water supply that will break right around the 24th when Saturn moves into Aries, at the same time that there could be an outbreak. Hold on, outbreak. I'm hearing skin rashes. Now that might be a result of the I don't know, am I allowed to say? CHEMTRAILS in the sky. That is being called out. Everything's being called out. It's a great thing. So if you're against the truth, well, then you're not probably watching my channel. Okay. Oh, hey. I had an article in Awakened magazine. I hope that you're able to see that. Awakened magazine out of Los Angeles. I was just published in there. And that's pretty cool. Okay. This is a big deal. We are in unprecedented times. So Saturn changing signs into Aries. It will be in Aries for almost 2.5 years. It is going to dip back into Pisces though. So even though, excuse me, wait, not even though, excuse me, pay attention to what's going on in your life during this week. Now, this week I am saying is going to be the most abrasive. It's going to be very challenging if you're not honoring yourself and your soul's journey, where you really want to be going. If you are going along to get along, it's not going to work. It's going to break. And you're going to want to really understand who you are, what you want to do, what makes you you, and then go that way. So you may be leaving groups, you may be leaving jobs, relationships, you may be relocating, because Saturn is also real estate. It's buildings and structures. Cancer is the sign of home, and Jupiter is going to be moving into Cancer in June. The things you want to be looking at your chart, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. You can get a free birth chart on my website. Again, it's suzy-woo.com, SUZY-WOO.com. And I think it's under services, pick generate my birth chart or generate free chart, something like that. And it's completely free. And you can even click on the things and it'll give you an explanation of what it means. So you don't have to hire a professional astrologer. You can get it for free, click on the things. And then if you want it professionally read and deciphered, then you hire somebody. You book a reading. If you resonate with me, yeah, I do this all day long. I do it in my sleep. It's wonderful. It's a language, and when you learn the language, you can read it, and then using timing techniques, you can predict what area of life is going to be lit up or resonating, where you can expect events to occur. And what I want you to look at in your own chart, where do you have the sign of Taurus? All right, so down here, where the sun is. Do you have anything on 27, or let's go 25, 6, 7, 8, 9? This is conclusive, conclusions, wrapping up, buttoning up, because I got to move on. That's what's going on, and pressure is building up. Now, God bless you if you are a Taurus, because this hurts. It means I can't take this anymore. I got to get out of here. And Uranus has been in your sign for 7, 8 years. Thank goodness it is leaving Taurus, because it's not comfortable there. And it's going to break free July 7th, 7/7. And it's going to move into the sign of Gemini, which it likes. That's going to be great. But until we get to July 7th, we're under a lot of pressure. I got to speak my truth. I got to ask for a raise. I got to declare my worth. Maybe I need to reevaluate my assets. Maybe I want to sell off some of my assets, because Taurus is a financial sign. And maybe I'm going to invest in stuff like digital currency, because that's what Uranus rules over, is digital, and Taurus is currency. Now, I'm not here nor there on that. I'm not an advisor, any of that stuff. Take it with a grain of salt. There could be, I expect volatility in the stock market during this time. There'll either be a big spike, a big dip, whatever. Something big and shaky will be happening. And if there's some kind of an outbreak or new explosions going on, it is going to impact our stocks, because it's or There's a big, Toto pulled away the curtain. What did Toto reveal? What's going on? Who's operating the puppet strings? And where is the money invested? So this could lead to another taking my money out of that and either cashing out or investing it over there. There could be more stuff about, what do you call that? Like secret trading? I don't know if that's the right, insider trading. I would expect something like that to be shown and disclosed. Definitely more financial institutions. I don't like the consolidating because that means less controls more. But you might have already noticed a lot of banks are going through merging. Like, I don't think that's a good sign, especially because they're the little banks, the little community level banks are being acquired, merged. Okay, this isn't good. Um, Even with a lot of chain stores going out of business, that's Taurus. They've reached a natural ending due to some kind of pressure. That's not good either. How do you ride the wave of this volatility? This is an unpredictable, juxtaposed, isn't it? Unpredictable energy. How to ride that wave is by turning off mainstream anything. Oh, letting somebody in the room. It's turning off mainstream anything. And it truly is going within and seeing what feels correct for you. And because you're going to realize, just because somebody who is labeled as an official is saying something absolutely doesn't mean that it's true. I expect a lot of confusion. Saturn in Pisces, this last degree, that's last ditch efforts to get you on board. So watch out for people trying to pressure you to do something, invest in something, buy something. Don't give in to pressure this week because you may regret it later. Um, if you want something, you know that you want something. You don't need pressure, like the way that we think of a used car salesperson, putting pressure on. Okay, I cannot stand, nobody can stand pressury sales. Like, don't stalk me if I'm visiting your department store. Right? If I want something, I'm going to inquire about it and I'm going to make hopefully an informed and educated decision. You want to avoid impulse buying. Venus in Aries is exactly that. Venus is money, love, resources. She is in Aries, which is not her best expression. Aries is impulsive. I need it now. And so Saturn, at this last degree of Pisces, is going to manipulate you. It's going to try to use pressure to push you over the edge and buy in, subscribe, uh, take this preventive measure, which is actually not going to help you at all. I cannot stress enough how important it is to use discernment. You have to learn how to trust yourself and lean into your intuition. That's what it's there for. Certain people, circumstances that you've had a hunch about, but nothing seems to 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 back you up on it. Well, this is the week the truth comes out and you're like, "Oh my God, about that," or a dream about it. Pisces, there's also dreams. I have a friend who has dreamt about horrible, not crisis, catastrophic events that happen. This may be you. And so dreams, pressure, we're actually also healing other timelines during dream time. A lot of this old stuff of being convicted wrongfully, in maybe a past life of yours, being labeled as insane and being institutionalized. Those kinds of things are coming up. Whether it's in this lifetime or other lifetimes or timelines. And when you are sleeping, those timelines are available to be healed. So you may get a full night's rest, but you may wake up tired because you are out of your body doing all of this stuff to heal so that you can be all in as these big changes of the world are occurring, and you've got all of your wherewithal, all of your energy, all good in here and consolidated and in a good space so that you're together and I'm ready for whatever's coming at me because I know who I am now, which is very big. I know who I am, identity. This is Aries energy. Now, what is a little bit of a tripwire is as Saturn moves into Aries, Saturn is restrictions. Moving into Aries is warrior, pioneer, what's worth fighting for. Well, you know what? Choose your battles wisely because I'm not going to fight to convince you that I do what I do or I am what I am. So I'm a really good energy healer. And it doesn't come from me. I get the heck out of the way. The energy flows through me and it just works. So it's not me, my person is the energy healer. I just facilitate. I'm the channel for it. My ego must get the heck out of the way, or I am going to color that and influence that, which I would never want to do. Because if I'm here to bring healing to somebody, I need to check out and get out of the way so they can get everything they need to get. All right. So this is where you're going to run into false gurus, false leaders. Follow me. I'm this and that. You have to go inside and see, does the energy of this person sit right with me? And if they don't, then you don't go to them. And then later you're going to find out they were somebody who was trying to make everyone drink the Kool-Aid. Very critical time of discernment, going within, and really learning how to trust that intuition. Saturn moving into Aries, that's one thing. But guess what? Neptune is already there. So Neptune is the mystic, spiritual. Neptune is the ruling planet over Pisces. Neptune does not enjoy being in Aries, and it can absolutely bring spiritual war. But Saturn is going to be joining it. So this is turbulent, assertive, aggressive, but it's also freedom fighters. What's worth fighting for? And everything is not worth fighting. Where does that fit into your lifestyle? Who do you surround yourself with? Where do you feel you need to stand up for yourself? If you feel just that it is going to have a positive outcome and that you're not going to just be a bag of wind or what is that, hot air, then you go ahead and do that. This is going to be a very bold move. I want to say to go where no man has gone before. Captain Kirk, what's his name? William Shatner is in Aries. But I'm going to drop that right there because I have opinions there. Saturn, I can't ignore that. Saturn at the last degree of Pisces moving into Aries. I just kind of wanted to supplement that. Didn't William Shatner's wife, quote unquote, accidentally drown? Pisces is water. I'm just curious if that happens to swirl back up to the surface. I don't know. I'm going to move on from that. I just have to say certain things. With Saturn and, with Mars and Leo, that is leadership. That is also celebrities. Leo rules over celebrities. And all of the Aries energy that we're having. Oh, let's circling back to that Aries energy. Venus in Aries is forming a trine. So Venus is glamour. putting that together, I think of rebelling, but to defend myself. For example, let's say somebody who has characteristics that you cannot stand. Let's say you hate somebody's voice and you can't stand it, can't stand their voice, and other people can't stand their voice either. And they're just blasting them away on like YouTube and TikTok and oh my God, I can't stand their voice. And whoever the person is says something like, everybody always hates my voice. It's what I was born with. What do you want me to do about it? Right? And then that kind of makes people come down off their high horse a little bit, you know? Oh, now I feel bad for ganging up on them. And maybe I can give them permission to have the voice that God gave them. Right? So it is going to invoke bullyish behaviors, but also fighting back and saying, you know what? Kiss off. This is the voice I was born with. Or whatever, whatever the trait characteristic is. And you may feel the need, you know what? I'm sick of having to defend myself all the time. I'm going to go to where I'm wanted, to where I'm appreciated. And if you are a black sheep of the family, if you love the island of misfits, you're my kind of person. So sign up for my newsletter. It's the Woos letter on my website. All right. And I also invite you to join me for any of the retreats I'm doing around the different areas across the United States this and next year. All right. What else do we have going on? So we are on May 17th. So Sun, Uranus together. The Venus in Aries trine, that's a friendly conversation, which can also amplify because fire is fiery and fiery is very much about you have to shine, stand up for yourself, freedom, be who you are. That's all fiery energy. These two planets, Venus and Mars, are both in fire. And so they're kind of like, yeah, right. Stand up for your beauty. What defines beauty? Mars is also surgery. So maybe something comes out about somebody's plastic surgery or any kind of maybe it's corrective surgery or something like that. Uh, hmm. I'm definitely getting spiritual truths, and then Saturn moving into that is going to add to it. But Saturn takes time. So Saturn going through Aries the next 2.5 years. Remember, I cut myself off. It is going to retrograde back into that end of Pisces again. So what I was starting to say, pay attention to what's going on this week for you and up to the 24th. 24th is not until next week, Saturday. So the whole next 10 days, pay attention or journal about what's going on in your life because Saturn moves into Aries and is going to retrograde back into Pisces and then go forward again, crossing these same degrees again. Now, the 0 of Aries has been a hot point because that is the beginning. It's the creation degree. 0 of Aries is birth, new beginnings, massive endings, massive new beginnings, pioneering energy. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. And with Pluto and Aquarius, I need a sense of community. Where are my people? Where's my tribe? And this is going to bring back, it's going to recirculate things that are considered magic. What a dumb, I don't know. I kind of want to say what a dumb word. Magic and miracles, that's a kind of a negative label that separates and puts things way up on high. Guess what? You were born knowing, you were born psychic, you were born intuitive. When you were a baby, you were interacting with dead relatives, with your spirit guides. But then, depending on your parents, oh, stop talking to nobody. Da, 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 da. You can't go to school and still be having tea parties with your stuffed animals, which is really your deceased aunt and grandmother and uncle. Um, and it's taught out of us if you don't have if you didn't have supportive or understanding or that kind of mentorship when you were really little. It's coming back. And so anyway, you are naturally, the body heals itself, okay? But the whole thing about religion and leadership and false leadership, false prophets, shadow government and all that kind of crap separated God from people. And then people were made to think that they have to, I'm going to stop this share. People were made to think that they have to go to somewhere on high and turn over their pelts and their spices to get wisdom from the oracle or the healer or the shaman or whoever would be on the hill, right? But that is part of us. It's in you. You have that ability. The rest of the world has wanted to turn that off. And that's why they use fluoride, scripts with things in it that calcify your pineal gland, which is your little polywog antenna, how to know right from wrong, what's for me, what's not for me, who's telling the truth, who can I trust. This is all stuff that we naturally have, but the ones that pull the puppet strings have infiltrated that so that we are separate and we feel separate. And that leads to, guess what? It leads to getting addicted to things like alcohol and drugs and abuse of power and misogyny and abuses of all kinds. Fortunately, all of these outer planets changing signs is going to wake up that DNA inside of us and turn on the light within, to turn on that cosmic intelligence that we are born having, that clear knowing, the clairs. And then when you know who you are, there is nothing more powerful than that. Nothing. Nothing is more powerful than when somebody knows who they are. When you're disconnected from that because this is what your parents said, that's what you were labeled as, and now you have to go to school and you can't talk out of line, and we have to respect everybody else, but I'm not being respected. I'm made to feel small and insignificant and like everything's in my head and I'm too sensitive and all of this crap. And let's medicate that. It leads to disconnection, ungroundedness, and it leads to even criminal behavior, right? I'm so grateful that where we're headed, the direction we're heading, we're in it now, is disillusion of that old brotherhood, the staunch, um, do not question me. That's all dissolving. And it has to. It's time. Like the contract has expired for the grip on our planet. And I got a massive, massive channeling up in the hills of Colorado on the summer solstice last year that told me and showed me all about it, which was verified by spiritual teachers of 40 years. And it was a whole presentation, like the black cube presentation was presented at a 45-degree angle. So everything, not only was it was inverted and then tilted. And it really caused like a disfiguration. That's not exactly the word. It's not even illusion. It's created like dysmorphia. It's created you remember back in the day, they had these little tubes of really chemical smelling gummy stuff. And it would come with a little straw, and you put a ball of it on the straw and you blow it, and it makes these big, beautiful bubbles. Um, Super cancer causing. But imagine if you were trying to look through that distortion. So it created distortion in our purview, in our views of ourselves and the world. And I'm so gosh darn happy and grateful that that is now going to pop. But when you're used to seeing things a certain way and all of a sudden it goes away, we get shocked. And then there's disbelief, and then you have to go through those phases of like anger and sadness and rejection and denial, and then acceptance, and then understanding. That is what happened in 2020. And now we're in another version of that and other truths. So it's to supplement what happened, and it's the other shoe dropping from what happened in 2020 now. And then where it's going, that depends on you. How do you want to live your life? How do you want to support and honor yourself or not? Are you going to follow the leader into an abyss? Or are you going to be that pioneer spiritual warrior and go internal, see better with your eyes closed, plug into who you are, and let your own truth be revealed to you? And that will help to show you your next steps forward, who is actually in your corner, who is betraying, who is telling the truth on any level, whether it's within your friends or coworkers or peer circle, or whether it's on television or the movies. All right. Neptune in Pisces energy is delusion and being drugged and escapism, denial. Oh, I can't talk about that. Well, now that we're moving into Aries, oh, I'm talking about it. But I'm also wanting to support so that everyone can heal. That's where this is going. And I didn't totally mean I as in me, but like one, individualness. Aries is about independence, individual. Who am I? And if you were born 67, 8, 9, then you're having your Saturn, your second Saturn return. And it also happens at around 28, 29, 30 years old. And so if you were born then or now, or 67, 8, 9, you're having your Saturn return. And what that means is you were born with Saturn in Aries, which means you were not allowed to be who you were when you were little. And that's for everybody. So if this is impacting you, then this is going to be a time that Saturn is going to reward you if you never gave up on yourself, or even if you did, this is an opportunity for healing. A little bit you missed the boat, but it's still able to be had. But Saturn rewards hard work. So if you have been working on yourself, doing the inner work, if you've been working hard towards a goal and not taking shortcuts, not being in a blame or shame mode, not projecting stuff, then Saturn is going to say, hey, good job. And now when the curtain comes up, it's what you asked for. It's what you've been working towards. It's what you wanted. Here it is. Yay. This is such a great time for realizations about who am I? Am I living in alignment with what I want, with my beliefs, my understanding, and with my values? What's important to me? It's exciting. It's great. And how to work with it is by staying internal, staying inside, staying in your own heart energy. Don't hang out in your head, because your brain just wants to protect you against everything that's coming at you, and your nervous system starts getting overloaded. And that's been happening, especially if you are an air, especially if you're in a Gemini, because Jupiter's been in your sign, and that's created a lot of nervousness and overwhelm on a mental level. And we've all felt that somewhere. And where that'll impact you is where Gemini is in your chart. And fortunately, that's going to give when we get into June, because Jupiter leaves the sign of Gemini, moving into Cancer, and then more family matters, safety, home, real estate, those kinds of things are going to start coming up. With Uranus moving into Gemini on July 7th, in addition to all of this, that's going to be more galactic guidance lighting up on the inside. Everything is inside first. When you realize it from the inside first, then when it shows up on your outside world, it'll be resonant and you'll be okay. If things show up on the outside first and you haven't had that realization yet, it's going to scare the crap out of you. All right. And so that is why you have to journey within to help your life make sense, to help you to know thyself and to honor thyself. No one else can do that for you. Learn how to nurture yourself. Learn how to be a good parent to yourself. Most of us did not have available or supporting parents. Of course, they do the best they could with whatever they have, but maybe that wasn't good enough. It's not a time to say, well, I'm this way because. It's time to take ownership of that and become your own leader. Be a good mother to yourself. Become the mother you didn't have. Become the father you didn't have. Learn how to nurture your needs, how to be more than enough, which means you're going to have plenty of money, plenty of stability. That's being a good father to yourself. It's the masculine energy and it's the root chakra. When you can learn, just live in your heart all the time. You don't need to live up here because up here is like, and it's easy to just knock you off kilter if you're up here rattling around. When you can come into the comfort of your own heart chakra, it's safe there. And the energy of your heart could be measured way more than the energy of your brain. So what's more important, right? It's not needing to know it all. And there's never going to be a time that you do know it all, ever, right? And if you think you're going to know it all, then that means you have a closed mind and you might as well write yourself off because you're starting to die. When you are in a state of growth and always learning, you're always creating new neural pathways and you're in a state of growth, which means it's good. Growth is good. Okay. Well, we are already out of time, so it went by really quick. Now, if you would like to have your chart read on one of these episodes, just send me an email, hello@suzy-woo.com. Again, it's Suzy with a Y. And let me know, what do you want to know? Or if there's a circumstance going on in your life, maybe when a particular thing will end, like this is for learning. This is for teaching and education, for awareness. And I also wanted to mention, because I always forget, that there's a wonderful nonprofit organization that I have my own chapter of, the NCGR. It's the National Council for Geocosmic Research. And I'm the president of the Buffalo Cleveland chapter. And no matter where in the world you live, you can still join my chapter if you resonate with me. And it's a wonderful group. It's a global group. And all of the best astrologers are there. I'm so excited to be a part of it. Membership is only $71 for a whole year. So it's a no-brainer there. I would love for you to join my chapter. Love makes the world go around, and community. And we need a place to call home. We need a sense of belonging. We need a sense of connection. And that's really what I'm about. I want to bring like-minded people together. Okay, I need to wrap up there because I have a client, and I'm not equal there. Whatever. Okay, so I'm Suzy Woo. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back next week. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I would love to do your personal reading. You can book a session with me online at my website or find where I'm going. I go to Cleveland a lot. I'm going to be at Rochester for 2 big deal events at the end of May. Saturday the 25th is a sensitive person caregivers retreat. Let me fill your cup. Big gong, sound bath, lots of energy healing, nice gift box worth a bunch of money. And dinner's included. I'm always going to feed you good. I've got a Taurus moon. And then Sunday is a psychic training and development intensive. I'm also having in Rochester, dinner's included, also a gift box. Both have a VIP option. And you got to get your tickets purchased by Sunday, because since your dinner's included, we need to turn those numbers in a week ahead of time. Okay. So you're running out of time. Now, Saturday, if you can come to the Rochester Empath, Highly Sensitive Person Caretakers Retreat, just this week until this weekend, if you get a ticket, you're going to get a bonus ticket for free. If you don't want to bring anybody, you can donate that ticket and I will give it away. All right. So it's $3.99 for the whole day. Everything's included just for the Saturday. The VIP option is $4.55. And again, if you register, you're going to get a second ticket. You're going to get a +1 for free. All right. So I hope to see you there or somewhere in the ethers. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week. Stand in your truth and live in your heart. Bye for now.